2025 was the year that the Switch 2 released. Is it overpriced? Is it good? It's brilliant. It's not overpriced. People are saying it is. People are saying it's rubbish. And I genuinely... People are saying, oh, this is stupid. 75 quid for Mario Kart World. And I'm like... People aren't even comparing this to anything else these days. Their research is extremely limited. Honestly, I don't actually get where anyone is coming from with these claims. I don't. If sounding something like the PS5 Pro is overpriced, yeah. It's just the PS5, but slightly better and you can't even tell the difference. But on the Switch 2, it is so much better. And I don't get why people are hating it. That I do. Because it's Nintendo. Nintendo just want Nintendo to be like Xbox and PlayStation. Releasing home consoles, because handhelds don't matter, people are saying. Oh, when they do, oh, the PSP. I'm not talking about the original, I'm talking about the PS Portal, PlayStation Portal. And it's like, oh, that's better than Switch 2. I'm like, look me dead in the eyes, and you pay 700 quid for it. Because you have to buy a PS5, and then you have to buy a PlayStation Portal. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Why people are being stupid to this console. It's not a bad console. It's the best gaming handheld console of all time. By a mile. The Switch 1 was already my second favourite console of all time. Behind the Wii. And now it's third. My top 5 favourite game consoles go as number 5, Xbox 360. Yes, a non-Nintendo. Number 4, the Game Boy. Or Flash Game Boy Color, if you really want to count those together. Number 3 is the Switch. Number 2 is the Wii. Number 1 is the Switch 2. The Switch 2 is worth every penny. 400 quid. And you've got to think, is this worth 400? You don't. In fact, no, you don't got to think. You know immediately. It just is. Because people are saying, oh, it's a handheld, so it's worth less than a home console. I don't really get that, like, at all. A handheld is more worth than a console. Just hold a second. With a classic style home console, something like the Xbox 360, let's just use this as an example. But let's also say that, oh, I don't know. Let's just now say that the Xbox 360 is as powerful as, you know, something as Switch 2. And it's the same price as Switch 2. People would say it's worth that amount. It's a home console, it's worth more. Is it though? A home console, you can't take it wherever you go. You can't bring it with you. You can bring the games, but you won't be able to play them. And it just does. Home consoles, I like them. I love home consoles. I love gaming as much as the next person. A home console, I love it. But portable gaming makes the most sense for me personally. And for that, the Switch 2 is the perfect portable console. I have no idea what Nintendo's going to do next. How can they top this? I really don't know. The Switch 1 had many issues. The only issue I can think of here is stick drift, which you can just send into Nintendo and get it fixed for free. But you didn't know that. No one ever knows that. And they end up buying a whole new pair for that, which is stupid. Just wait 2 weeks. The thing is, the Switch 2 is so much worth. They fixed every major complaint I had with the first one. All of them. Let me just get my Switch 2 screen, for example, and a Joy-Con. The Switch 1. After 5 years of having it, look at it. The back, because it was all glossy, it's faded. I had Animal Crossing Special Edition, you can't even tell. The back was coming apart, because the vents, they were all straight plastic lines that you could just pop off and they were easy to break. And you could just bend it like that. The power button is really small and kind of hard to access and doesn't feel like you even pressed it. The volume buttons are the same. The speakers were rubbish. And the stand always fell off. It was rubbish. Plus that the game card slot was so bad, mine has literally come off at this point. And also the sliding thing. The thing is, you were supposed to have to press that circle button to take it off. Like that. But now, don't need to, and it wears out the controllers. The original Joy-Cons were small, they were but mighty, and I loved the Switch one. But the bezels are way big. My Switch one broke this year. Wi-Fi chip broke, I think it was, and yeah, my dad wasn't able to fix it, and I waited for the Switch 2. But here, my biggest complaint, which was how strong the console is, been fixed. The vents now, instead of it being 3 bars, it's 2, and they're now made of stronger materials, thicker materials. They aren't the only thing keeping the back and front placed together in that part. The grates are further down so they don't get dirty as much, and they're like outwards. So instead of it being a straight line that you can pop off, it's like a curved line. So it's like a stronger bit, and you can't really take it off. There is a weak point. You can't even break that. Like the game card slot, instead of it being an easy flap open that flaps that out open again and again and never closes properly, it's a proper thing. You get a metal bit plus that to keep it in shape, plus you get the bendy thing so you can keep it like that, and then it goes back in like that. Power button is bigger and easier to access. The Joy-Cons, look at them. They just come off magnetically, and the thing is, unlike the Switch 1 where after a week it can just go without needing to press the button, and also kind of looked a bit weird doing the slide thing. You look clean here. I've had this since Christmas Day. I still can't take off the Joy-Cons without pressing that button. As soon as I press that button, even like that, it comes off, but like anything else, you can't get it off. And the Easy Magnetic has a new pin, so it's way easier to detect that it's connected to the console. Charging's better, faster charging plug as well. Plus, the screen. Got the old Switch one fits inside the screen without bezels, and that's not including the thick bezels that are on the Switch 1. It has HDR, 120 FPS, and does 4K on a 4K TV if you put it in the dock. Yes, its grip may be ever so slightly less comfortable, but do you really care that much? Just buy a used Pro controller if you really care that much. The Switch 2 is my favourite console of all time. I love home consoles, and when I want to play a home console, I'll put the Switch in. The thing is, the Switch is the most intuitive menu design of all time. You're just like, oh, once I get home I'll play this game. You don't need to. You can play it on the train. Before I had the Switch 2, I still have home consoles that worked. I did, and I still do. The Xbox 360, for example. And even when I had multiple controllers, I never felt like I wanted to play multiplayer on it. Like when a friend came, like when I was out with a friend, I was just like, oh, do you want to play? No, oh, no, because I can't. I can't bring my Xbox 360 plus controllers and a TV with me. But with the Switch 2, you're just like, oh, have you ever played this before? And I'm just like, no, okay, so just Mario Kart, that moves, that uses, that moves forward, that steers, that uses items, that drifts. And we're just like, oh, is that it? Just like, yeah, that's it. And then we play a knockout tour together, and I beat him or he beats me, and it's like, that was really fun. I did that on a train at a school trip. They let us do that. And everyone was on their phones. I was on the Switch. So, my friend, and it's way more of a worthwhile console than anything I've ever played. I think it's just me, but when it's a home console, I never feel like I'm ever going to beat a full game on it. Because you have to have the commitment of, starting it up, putting the disc in. It feels like with setting it up with all the different cables and everything. With the handheld, if I don't want to do all that trouble, which it's way less troublesome, instead of having to find those specific cables, you just find the charging plug, which you always have for this console, or just use your phone's one, plus a HDMI cable. That's it. You put it in the dock. But with an Xbox 360, you need to have a HDMI port or that. Plus, you need to have a HDMI to composite or whatever. Plus, you need to have the power supply. But you need to find a specific power one. And you're just like, which one is that? Plus, you need to make sure that the fuse hasn't gone on the plugs because there's multiple plugs and they're old and unreliable. But which is annoying, and I don't like that. But the Switch 2, and even the stand, is just full metal construction now. You can go all the way up to there. It's perfect now. For me, the Switch 2 is perfect. It really is. And the games. People are saying Mario Kart World was overpriced. I don't think people understand the pricing of gaming at this point. Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 Aviator Edition. Okay, the version with DLC. Okay, so it'll be 90 quid? Maybe 100? 200 quid with Game Pass discount. 200 with Game Pass discount. Oh, but you already have the game on Game Pass. So just get the upgrade pack. It's only another 150. It's only 140 on Game Pass. Okay. Well, it can't be much more without Game Pass, and I just don't need Game Pass. 225. 225 quid for a game with its full DLC. And people are saying 20 quid Donkey Kong Banana DLC is ridiculous. People just don't notice. People don't look other places. People don't care. And they won't. Other companies. They do to Nintendo. They're just being mean towards Nintendo. And I'm really not sure why. It's sad, but it's the truth. People just hate Nintendo because they're trying their hardest. Releasing exclusive games. And when people don't want... And people want to play the colourful games, but don't want to play the cheap, child-friendly, colourful box that plays them, and want to have a hardcore gaming console, but want to play their colourful platforms on it. Because they don't want to know that they don't want their friends to know that they play the colourful platformers. They get annoyed, but they can't get... But they say... And then they don't say that it's because their games aren't on there, because then they know that they play the colourful platforms. They're just saying, because of exclusive games, it's rubbish, it's completely stupid. Really, it's just people's insecurities and rage bait. The Switch 2 is a perfect console. Plus the games. I have so far gotten 3 games for the Switch 2. I understand these games are expensive, but just ask Mario Kart World for Christmas, which is what I did. The other 2 are just as much used as any Switch 1 game was, really. Plus 5 quid, but I got these games, I got Kirby's Air Riders used a week after it launched. Even on Amazon, these games are now 50 quid. Donkey Kong Bonanza, Kirby Air Riders, Mario Kart World are all masterpieces. And all should have been nominated for Game of the Year. But why not? Just get a Switch 2. Unless you don't want to play these games, then that's fine. But don't go saying it's a rip-off until you've played one and you actually know what the worth is.